it's forced cross also, as we see they spawn cross. So
Yeah.
that's also a good balance thing.
Yeah, I like that as well. It also makes the games a little bit more interesting. It's not like, one base all-ins every game, because Antigua and close spawns, for example, bottom left, bottom right, you do see a lot of kind of gimmicky player.
Yeah.
It's hard to
Yeah,
get like
so much
four
closer.
base as well if it's close spawn like that. But anyway, we do have in the top right hand corner from Team FXO. Did knock out Johnny Rico in the last round. It is going to be FXO's Elbegast. He is the red Protoss over here in the top right. And over in the bottom left, we do have Infused Fargo. He is the blue Terran player, getting second place at multiplayer's I-45. The weekend just gone, placing very strongly there, getting beat against Bling in the final 2-0. But his TVP is definitely his strongest matchup. And he plays very standard on this map. I feel, he likes to get his 1 racks FE into his 3 racks overall. Tech Lab, reactors, into medevacs, push out with stim, combat shields, concussive, and just harass, with drops while taking a third. That is Fargo's, his trademark play on this map, and he always seems to win with it. So why change what's not broken, man?
Yeah, that's true. It's very solid. And he used that timing, as you said, pushing out with those 2 medevacs, and you add the 4th and 5th racks, and you can use the 2 first dropships to drop his main, while you go with some Marines and Marauders to the natural.
Yeah.
And you just try to attack and do as much damage as possible.
Yeah, I was talking to Fargo about this as well, and we were talking about, in the first 2 medevac ships, what's the best way to use them? Do you send one medevac full into the back of the base, or do you send 2 medevacs full, or do you only send, or me and Fargo were talking about like feigning dropping, sending in 1 empty medevac to the back of the base, which draws attention away, and then the entire main army to the natural. He was saying there's a lot of variations you can do with it, and a lot of mind games. So Fargo definitely has options with this build if that's what he's going for, and it definitely looks like that's what he's doing. Look, it's the 1 racks right there, and command center thrown down. So looking very much standard Fargo versus Protoss on Antigua Shipyard right now. This is the bread and butter, guys. I can't stress how often we see this build on this map.
Yeah, and we see Elbegast rallying his first sellout over to Fargo's side of the map. Fargo will need a bunker to defend this much more easily, because he's rallying that Stalker as well. But this is so smart by Fargo. Just plant that engineering bay, and what is he going to do when he got this sellout on the other side of the map?
Yeah, that's very smart.
Halfway built. It's going to take so much time. If you have that sellout, the engineering bay does nothing. But if you have the sellout on the other side of the map, that engineering bay does so much. But Fargo needs to micro here.
Yeah, it should be easy enough to micro as well. Shouldn't be too hard. Just lose 1 SCV, but 1 SCV for a Zealot is really not worth it. And that's to cancel engineering bay. Fargo!
Oh,
didn't get the cancel.
That's a mistake. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely a blunder there, but he will get that bunker up, so these 2 stalkers that are heading across the map won't be able to do all too much. Now, what do you think we're going to see from Elbegast here? One popular build is, gateway expand into 3 gate pressure, which is very strong. Do you think, with 2 sentries out already on the map, and only Marines out so far for Fargo, we may see more stalkers being added into the mix?
Yeah, I like to do like Elbegast is doing now, having 2 stalkers out, but I usually want to keep them outside your opponent's base in case he's doing that 4 or 5 racks, just popping Marines out. So you can start to kite them, and then from there transition into sentries, like he has done. He's built 1 sentry, and he's adding robotics so they're really quick, so he's a bit greedy, and getting those extra 2 gateways to just have a strong army if he attacks. If Fargo attacks.
Yep, Fargo is just going to be moving out onto the middle of the map with these Marines, just to try and establish a little bit of map control. He actually sent 1 of them stalkers home. Do you think he should just keep both stalkers out on the map?
Yeah, I think that's much smarter. There isn't going to be a threat of any drop, so...
Not for a little while anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Since he didn't scout the command center, but
he knows it's
there. Expect it.
Yeah, he has to know it's there, absolutely. Otherwise, it's the greatest metagaming of all time by Fargo. And Elbegast will be dead to a 1-1-1 pretty soon, but we're not going to be seeing a 1-1-1 from Fargo out in this map, especially. And his 1-1-1s are pretty strong from what I've heard from Fargo. I haven't seen him attempt them all too much, but he's pretty confident in them. And this is another thing that I saw Fargo do against Bling at the I-Series final. You know, he placed down these engineering bay wall at the bottom, just in case an opponent is going for like a 2-base, 6-7 gate kind of push like that, and it just makes him a little bit safer to a 2-base all-in from a Protoss player.
Yeah, and he starts +1 there, and as we said, we see those 3 racks into factory. He will put down a starport and get a react on the starport, and he will probably make some add-ons on his 2 other racks. Maybe 2 reactors, I think.
Yep.
Or is it 1 more tech lab and 1 reactor? I don't know.
It will probably be another tech lab and a reactor on these barracks. Because you'll be getting obviously the 2 Marines out from one and then the 2 Marauders, because then you won't be too heavy Marine composition, you won't have too few Marauders, you need to get the right mix, and I think that's what he'll be going for. But he'll only add them when the starports swap over, I think. I don't think there's any need to do so right now because he does have a nice Marine count, but we'll see. We do see 2 Forges coming down now as well, and Elbegast is going for Colossus. Now we saw, again, I keep referring to this, guys, but at the weekend at I-Series, Fargo played against Dream, and he did this build, I think it was on Cloud Kingdom, very similar, and Dream was going for the exact same build, getting them early Colossus out, but obviously Colossus aren't exactly the most mobile in terms of going from the natural to the back of the main, etc. You know, having to split your armies. Colossus aren't very good by themselves against a whole bunch of Stim Marauders. So it's going to be pretty tough for him to deal with this.
Yeah, I've seen this in a clan war as well. And he moves out with the 2 first medevacs, as we said. There is an observer out scouting it, even though Fargo sniped one of the observers. And when he used his drop in the clan war, I saw he killed a lot of probes because the Protoss player went for this Colossus and double Forge. But yeah, we see Elbegast also adding 3 more gateways, so he's going up to 6 gateways total, and we will see how well he will defend this.
He has absolutely nothing in his main to defend against it. Now he's retreating his army back, but in doing so he's neglecting his natural. Now the drop is being a threat here. Look, he's just trying to drop in the natural, but everything is here to deal with this. Now here comes Fargo's main.
Oh, and is he going to lose both the drop ships? Oh, he only lost 1.
But he actually Fargo backs off. There was only one. Colossus that was quite naked, so he could have taken that out, but didn't want to risk it. And behind it, he is adding a 3rd base and building and dropped the factory down at the 3rd for Elbegast, so he's not going to be able to add a very quick nexus immediately. So, this was by no means an all-in. This is literally to try and get his command center up, but it's so strong a lot of the times it does end up just killing their opponent. So, that's why it makes it such a strong build. And Fargo, as you see, adding the 3rd right there, and that factory will go down.
He's making the 3rd to a planetary. I don't know if I agree on this. He's getting the 2nd starport with a to make a lot of Vikings, and he's getting armor in the 2nd engineering bay to get a double upgrade at the same time as Elbegast is doing with his double Forge. But what this planetary, it's good if your opponent attacks you, but if Elbegast doesn't attack, which I don't think he will, he's just camping on his Colossus tech and double Forge. We see Fargo trying to drop some more here, but that drop will be neglected and probably killed soon.
Yeah, he's forced a lot of warpings as well. Look how many Zealots and Stalkers are warped in there, so he's not going to be able to, to add more gates for the meantime. I know you kind of want to get them Zealots and Stalkers out anyway, but he didn't want to warp them in right then, and so Fargo is just trying to keep his opponent on his toes a little bit here. Just look how oversaturated this naturally is from the Elbegast, but he will probably transfer. And look at the main as well, so oversaturated, but he will transfer them over to the 3rd momentarily. But Fargo has had this 3rd up a little bit longer. He is adding a Ghost Academy as well, so now this is where the game, it comes out of the mid-game situation. Now the game kind of starts to tend and go towards the Protoss' favour a little bit until the very, very late game. when Terran, you know, sacrifices about 100 SCVs for mules and gets that really strong army out. But
yeah.
what do you think about that anyway? What do you think about this moment in PvT?
It's a very solid moment. Both are at pretty much the same position, both going for that +2/+2. And as we talked about Fargo, he has added those 2 more racks, so he's up to 5 racks as well. He's adding that 4th. We'll maybe see the Protoss trying to push out soon. Maybe going for High Templar, but this is like, now both just want to get their army and upgrades up, and soon they will move out to try to take a 4th. And that's when on this map the big fight usually happens, and if it goes in favor to one of the players, that's the player who will usually win.
So here we see the drop coming in here at the 3rd for Fargo, trying to do a little bit of damage. Here we have the entire army of Elbegast moving in. Now that dropship was still at the top right, but I think it has just been cleared up by Stalker.
It just got sniped. They tried to take them in at both times, but the one at natural got sniped instantly by Blink Stalkers.
Now this is the problem for a Eternal player. He has to do some damage because, I mean, the Colossus Death Ball is just so strong. You can't do any harassment though. I mean, because Blink Stalkers are so good. I take out the Medivacs. I think at this stage, I think he has to kind of give up on, you know, doing a lot of drops, at least to the 3rd. I mean, maybe at the back of the main, you know, it's a little bit longer for all the units to walk around and deal with. But we do see more command centers being added for Fargo. Look how many command centers he's adding right now. Added another 2 command centers. Looks like he wants to take the middle of the map. But here comes Elbegast is going to be moving out, and
this is the moment I talked about. Both is trying to take the 4th, and now it's the fight which comes. Because they both want this middle 4th, and then they have to collide. They have to battle about it. They can't just coexist peacefully.
Why, man? Why can't we all just live together?
Yeah. Oh, we see this SV.
Oh no.
Oh, yeah, they do. Oh, that's so bad for Fargo. And we see those Vikings not in a very good position. And they're taking a fight.
And the Vikings are going to go down, but all the Zealots too melt immediately. But the thing is, the Colossus still stands, but looks like Elbegast is going to move back a little bit. He's going to try and take off as many of these Stalkers as he can, but force fields go down. You don't want to engage just Fargo. There's too many Colossus.
Yeah, this is not a very good position now. He's taking out many of the Stalkers, so that's good. There's only 1 Stalker left, so he can just use those Vikings to maybe kill the Colossus. There's 2 Colossus on low HP. So he defended his 4th, so I have to say it was quite well done by Fargo, even though the fight started out really bad for him. He turned it around pretty well.
Yeah, but the problem is he doesn't have any Vikings out. You know, he has 1 Viking, trying to get 4 more out right now, and the bulk of his army is just missing. He lost so many SCVs there as well. He's 82 probes down to 59. Remember, he does have a whole bunch of mules. Did warp in morph in another orbital command over there, so there's an extra mule he could land down potentially. And
7 Colossus.
Yeah, that's...
He just made 3 once. And his 3-3 is going to finish now. This is going to be a really hard moment for Fargo to defend. He's 50 supply down. I don't know really what he can do. He's trying to camp with his Vikings over that planetary to prevent Blink Stalkers from blinking on top of those Vikings. But yeah, it's going to be really hard to defend. We'll see how strong those Colossus are and how long range they have.
Yeah, Colossus are pretty good, and Fargo's definitely in a bad spot right now. He just doesn't have the production capabilities to, you know, kind of remax at the moment. And EMP go down, but kind of misses a whole bunch. The second EMP was a little bit better, and actually gets all the Colossus at bar 1 with all the EMPs. So I don't think Elbegast really wants to overly commit to this, but looks like he will do. Yeah, he might have enough just to break this anyway, but. Yeah, look at them Colossus, man. They just do so much damage.
Yeah. This is not looking very good for Fargo. He's now 65 supply down. And there's the GG.
There is the GG. And, yeah. A little 1 or 2 mistakes there. Kind of